We took a contract on a world called Oakhaven, a Starner breadbasket planet. The place was dominated by the Iron Orchard, a massive, fully automated factory complex that pumps out heavy industrial agro-mechs. You've seen them, 80-ton monsters designed to clear forests and harvest grain, not fire PPCs. The facility was a marvel of gears, conveyor belts the size of highways, and robotic arms that moved with a terrifying precision. It was supposed to be a deterrent contract, show the flag, scare off any lower-end pirates, and collect a Starner stamped check. But as I've learned, whenever the logic seems simple, the universe is just winding up for a sucker punch. Was a mountain of gear, a mechanical song that was heavy and clear, conveyor belts humming through the factory floor while the robotic arms were preparing for more. 80-ton giants in a half-finished line, a Starner built logic that was doing just fine. We moved the Leopard into the hangar's light, thinking we'd have a real peaceful night. The Baron in charge had a silk-softened voice, said, Starner, your company was the logical choice. Just keep the perimeter, keep the peace in the yard while the orchard is working and the labor is hard. I looked at the gears and I looked at the steel, feeling the weight of the industrial wheel. The Aztecs were busy poking round the machines while Elena was checking the tactical screens. The Agro-Mech sat in their assembly rows with heavy-duty plating from their heads to their toes. They had saws for the timber and claws for the grain, built for the labor and the industrial rain. No lasers, no missiles, no tactical flight, just 100 tons of muscle for the harvest time. Like they're just tractors, Mike Skid said with a grin, while the sensors were quiet and the coffee was thin. And the HPG rattled the long-range wind red with an orbit-to-surface alarm for our head. I ran for the locust that kicked on the feed, watching the sky for a mercenary need. It wasn't a raid and it wasn't a scout, that kind of arrival that you worry about. 3 dropships, no force, screaming out of the blue with the signature frequency that the MRB knew. They're coming in heavy, relay cried out as the logic of numbers started to shout. A full battalion of iron Fang steel with the contract to break the industrial wheel. We were 5 lights and mediums, outgunned by the score, against 40 mechs dropping in for a war. They were circling the orchard, they were closing the gate with the weight of the dragon and a Starner spec hate. I sat there in the cockpit, watching the sensor ghosts multiply 10 to 1. Maybe worse, the Iron Fangs weren't here to loot. They were here to remove the facility for a rival conglomerate. We were supposed to be a deterrent, but you don't deter an avalanche with a picket fence. I looked at my 5 mechs, then I looked at the long rows of 80-ton agro-mechs sitting silent in the assembly line. They had the armor, they had the power plants, they just didn't have the teeth. I felt a crazy kind of logic start to spark, the kind that gets you killed or makes you a legend. I opened the comms to the Aztecs, boys! Tell me you've still got those spare PPCs in the Leopard's belly, because we're about to do some unauthorized field modifications. The dropships were landing, the dust was a cloud, while the Iron Fang sirens were screaming real loud. We were trapped in the orchard, we were pinned at the floor with the battalion of killers at the factory door. The logic was freezing, the logic was cold, but a brimstone-born story was about to be told. Hold the line, I shouted, and clear out the bay. We're building a graveyard at the end of the day. They thought they were walking into an empty barn. They thought the Warren's Ransom would tuck tail and run when we saw the numbers. But they forgot that miners know how to repurpose a tool.